Reform overtaking the Conservative Party. There's only one poll, as I understand. But it happened yesterday, and, I suppose it is a significant moment for all my, snarkasm earlier in the show. They are... I see them as basically identikit conservative capitalist ultras, disaster capitalists, self-serving sociopaths, whether it's Tories or Reform. But it is a significant moment for a new party to overtake the Tories, right? But it kind of got me thinking, what is it that Nigel Farage has actually done to make that happen? How has he managed to galvanise supporters to such an extent, in such a small space of time, to gain 4 extra points, 19% in about a week, is pretty incredible. What has he done to G up the crowds to that extent? What he does is he puts on a show for people. That presents a really troubling reality, is the different skill sets that we get from political campaigners versus who we would actually need as our prime ministers, right? You've got campaigners over here, and then you'd have competent PMs over there. So Boris Johnson, campaigner. Big red buses, flying down the zip wire thing, getting stuck, doing silly stunts, being a bit of a buffoon. Effective campaigner. Nigel Farage, effective campaigner. But neither of them would be or have been any good in high office. But what makes a good PM? So here you've got the campaigners, right? The bluster, the slogans, shouting, big red buses. What makes a good PM? A level head, doesn't it? Measured responses. Political leaders who are engaged in the substance. And yet, depressingly, if you took a boring, cool-headed, measured person and told them to go out and win you an election, I think they would probably struggle. I was talking to a friend of mine today, right? Little WhatsApp chat in the afternoon. And he is a Reform fan. He loves Nigel Farage. I know. I don't get it. That's him. And, I always say it's not worth falling out with people over politics, even though you might think that they have completely lost the plot. But in his mind, I think he thinks that he's a bit of a legend. And I'm like, yeah, but he can't answer a question. He literally cannot. I said, if I listen to him, and I have listened to him, I think it was first thing this morning, maybe it was yesterday morning, he was on Nick Ferrari, and he was on there waxing lyrical, wheeling out the hits. He'll say, all of our problems are down to high immigration because there's not enough money to fund the public services to keep up with the immigration. And I'm like, why is there no money for public services? Well, that's because the national debt is so high. So all of our tax money goes on that. You think that you're paying taxes to go towards hospitals and schools and everything, but actually a huge chunk of it just goes on servicing debt, right? And then I'm like, well, why is the national debt so high? Well, let's talk about that then. Well, because we have a shit ton of old people in this country. So, so old people need a lot of care. They have a lot of doctor's appointments and operations and pensions to pay for. It's so much money coming from the state, going to this ballooning number of old people in the UK. So lots of old people need lots of younger people to work to earn money that then pays for them and their care. So how do you get more young people? Well, you socialise childcare. You make it free for people to get childcare so they can go out to work. Or you bring in immigrants. Then we're back to square one again. This is what I'm saying to my friend this afternoon. I'm like, I know that you love him. I know that you love his party and you think he's a bloody legend. But I'm here to tell you, when he talks about this stuff and blames it all on high immigration, we've just literally, it may sound really roundabout, but we've actually just gone through the entire trajectory and ended up back at needing fucking immigrants again. So his solution, we've got to bring down the immigrants, is just going to deprive us of more tax money, which will then go into solving or servicing the national debt. And then we're just going to need more immigrants or to socialise childcare. And by this point, he's just like, God, you're so indoctrinated, aren't you? I'm like, I am I? Like, you could avoid both of those things. You wouldn't need immigrants or socialised childcare if you just had growth. Oh, well, we'll get growth then, won't we? By joining the single market? Absolutely not. No, I'm not getting back into bed with the EU. Right, okay. Yeah, I had an inkling. You probably wouldn't like that. So take your pick. Which is your poison? Socialised childcare, high immigration, or magical growth with the single market? Take your fucking pick.